Pisces, happy new year and welcome to January of 2026. Let's see what energies are coming up for you for this month to get the year started off right. Let's have an aligned astro chat about it. Hello all, Stacy the Black Feather Intuitive, and welcome to your Transformational Tarot for the energies that are happening in January of 2026 for Pisces. And again, Happy New Year. So excited to be connecting with you guys on this wild ride called life for this next year. And this is for your sun, moon, and rising, for whether you're, Pisces sun, moon, rising. You can also read this for your Venus and Mars placements, or if you've got a Pisces in your life that you love and you want to keep up on what is coming up for them, this is a reading for you. We are going to be pulling the overarching theme today from the Healing Spirits Oracle from Gordon Smith. And then the card deck that called to me for you guys today is Under the Oak Tarot. This is a Lo Scarabeo, and it is Offride and Streghe della Mele. Without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, really excited, Pisces, to be connecting with you today. Also have some really fun news. After 11 years of being on this crazy YouTube journey and chasing algorithms and all the things and the stuff, I finally have reached the place where I'm allowed to offer memberships to my community. And so if you would like to become one of my fabulous phoenixes, I encourage you to click the join button to check out the different options. I've got 3 tiers so that we can go a little deeper and can keep the connection going. Can't wait for that. Okay, here's your theme. When it feels right, do it. Oh, I love this. I'm loving the purple energy. This also makes me feel like almost like I'm looking in the mirror and seeing the star self that I am. And there's this, sort of fancy frame around the mirror. This can also, be like a face with the hair coming around. Definitely feeling here that this is a month in January for you to really kind of throw out the logic and the rationality, not use that to lead in with things, and to really go into that feeling space. Now, Pisces, you guys are water signs, so going into that feeling space is not exactly challenging for you. You love to be, kind of in the flow of things and being intuitive and connecting to the psychic realm. But for whatever reason, your guides are giving you that extra nudge to be able to do that this month, and we'll see what the cards have to say. But yeah, this is your permission slip. When it feels right, do it. Simple, done, end of story. Okay, current self in this present moment. Where are you right now in your transformational journey? What part of you is shifting, rising, or dissolving? Interesting. So you've been a little lost in the details. I feel like, Pisces, of course, general reading, take what works for, leave the rest behind. There's been something that you've really been working hard to learn about, learning about yourself, expanding your skill set, learning a new skill, learning just for the sake of learning, feeling like you want to be more connected to the collective, more connected to your people. And it requires a skill building in order to be able to do so. And what's really interesting about this is I feel like you are using this to rise. I feel like this is a rising moment, and it's taken you a while to get there. But when it feels right, you do it. And I feel like there's going to be something coming up for you here in January, a particular opportunity that is going to open you up for, I want to say, like skipping the line, skipping ahead, learning 2 levels instead of 1 at the same time. It's really about advancement. But I feel like you want to take the blindfold off and you want to really pay attention to what is being presented to you, because there's a big ask in this opportunity. And I'm not saying don't do it. When it feels right, do it. But you need to understand what you're actually saying yes to, what is actually going to be required of you. And you may need to move your schedule around. You may need to shift some of your commitments and some of your priorities around in order to be able to step in and make this successful. And the three energy is all about what we're creating. And so this is a thought that has become a thing. You are wanting to create a strong, solid foundation. You are wanting to create a circle of friends or a support system, a circle of support that I want to say is reciprocal, where there's give and take, where you can reach out and know that you're not going to be judged if you need to ask for help, but that also this door swings both ways. And when that person is reaching out to you, or that circle is reaching out to you, you step up and you can support them in those ways. So you're really trying to build something here, saying yes to building something. And I feel like it is something that is newer in nature, or that you are coming out of a window of time where you were choosing to be a little more isolated, a little more hermity. I like to say going it alone. And you're recognizing now, okay, this is a window of time or a phase of time where I'm needing people again, or I'm wanting to be more of service, or I'm, tired of focusing on myself. It's time to focus, to use what I've learned in all of that focusing on myself to now, focus on others. So I feel like this is how you're wanting to kind of change. So the catalyst, what's fueling or hindering your transformation, is this resistance or rocket fuel. Oh, the star. Yeah, new vision. You're wanting something new. You've been speaking to your high self. You've been speaking to your ego voice. You've been speaking to all of the different aspects of you and coming to the conclusion that it's time to move forward into something new and different. And I need support in order to be able to do that. It feels right to do so. So I'm not afraid to do it. It's just about setting myself up for success. I'm feeling here like this is going to be rocket fuel for you, but I also feel like you need to be, we look at the water, and they're pouring into the water. They're pouring their hopes and dreams into the water. The water is the psychic realm, the ocean of emotion, right? I feel like this is about you feeling again and getting really in touch with, again, feelings are neither true nor false. They simply are, but they can really be a roadmap, part of the roadmap. They can be the road signs that tell you, yes, go here. No, detour around this. There's a big hole in the way. You're going to want to drive around this. So there's this energy of kind of reconnecting to your feelings and emotions from a very intentional way, and a somewhat, so it's like, it's non-attachment. It's not attachment to your feelings and emotions, because when we attach to our feelings and emotions, we get very overly emotional, and we can make choices that are not necessarily grounded in what it is that we're really wanting. We can be steered off course. When we are completely detached, then we are making decisions maybe from a logical, rational perspective, or we're making decisions out of a sense of hurt. And that is going to come up and bite us in the ass later on. If we approach non-attachment, it means that I am available for everything and I can tap into my feelings, but I also understand that I'm not attaching myself to those feelings. I'm letting those feelings inform my choices, just the same as I'm letting the other parts of the situation or the circumstance to inform it as well. I'm adding my hopes and dreams into a pool that is already there. So maybe it's diluting the feelings a little bit so that you can get to the next right answer, or to the right path, or to the when it feels right, do it place. So this is definitely rocket fuel, but you're not necessarily doing it in, slipshod style or like a rocket. I feel like there's intentionality behind it. Once you've set the intention and you're connected to that, however fast you choose to go with it is fine, but take the time to connect to the right intention for you. Deep root, what deep belief, wound, or soul contract is driving this transformation under the surface? Interesting. King of Wands. So I'm hearing soul contract, with someone who tends to be a little bit larger than life. And if it's not a someone, it's a something, a job, a workplace, a particular goal from a volunteer perspective, the type of legacy that you want to leave behind, being the head of the household, things like that. And I feel like when we're talking about the soul contract energy, this person, place, or thing, up until this point, you have felt has overshadowed you or gotten in your way. But I want to say that's a story that is no longer relevant or viable. Yes, they may be larger than life. Use that to your advantage. Pay attention to what their zone of genius is, what their skill set is, and use it for your good. Invite them in, collaborate with them. See if they're willing to help you get to this new vision and version of where you want to be. You're a water sign, right? Pisces, you work with water. You work with that ocean of emotion. You work very well within the psychic realm. King of Wands is the fire and the passion and the soul-driven purpose and, all of the, yes, go, 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 go. Well, water, you contain that. You can harness it, but you can tame it so that it doesn't burn itself out, right? Water and fire can be a good balance, a good synergy. So don't see this as the enemy. Don't see this as the bane of your existence. See this energy instead as something that you want to work with, you want to call in, because it's going to, with that harnessed, balanced energy that you're stepping into, it's going to get you to where you want to be a lot faster and with more vigor and passion. And, this is your motivation. This can be your motivation. But if you're seeing it always as this is the bane of my existence, this is the thing that always gets in my way, this is the enemy in the camp, the spy in the camp, the enemy in the camp, and so it must die at all costs, then you're going to run into trouble. And I feel like that's exactly what this is about. It's turning the frown upside down. It's taking the lemon and making lemonade. It's looking at it from a different perspective and saying, how can I make this work for me, rather than see it as always an obstacle that works against me. And you can do this. Remember, you have the power to wipe fire out. Not saying that you want to do that, but use your water superpower to tame, so that the two of you can find that balance, that you can find that synergy. That's what it's all about. We all have all of the different signs in our chart, right? It's just a matter of where it lands and how we choose to use it. Time to work with your fire energy. Time to work with that to help you get to where it is you want to go. What's dying away? What role pattern or identity has run its course? Feeling like you don't have enough. Feeling like you're never enough. Feeling always like you have to make a sacrifice, this or this. It's never an either. It's always an either or, never a both and. I feel like this is leaving you because you're reconnecting in a deeper way to why you came here in the first place. And not to put too fine a point on it, because we are talking about this month, this energy in the month of January. I do feel that you are really evaluating why you're here. And yes, you don't need to be psychic to know that a lot of people are doing that right now. It's January, it's kind of a cultural thing, a universal thing, however we want to call that, where a lot of people are doing that, evaluation. It's the first, it's the first of the new year. It's the new energy that you're stepping into. But I will say to you that you're doing this because you are trying to reconnect to the energy of that purpose. You're trying to find more motivation, or to be able to focus that energy. You're feeling the charged energy, or you're wanting to feel the charged energy. And that's what January is going to bring to you. And this balancing act, this back and forth, this I'm not enough. I'm not enough. this is dying away. This can no longer serve you. And some of this is you having to tell yourself that. But a lot of this, I feel, is you seeing in real time where those things aren't true. I feel like there are going to be some people that come out of the woodwork to surprise you with, praise, with accolade, with validation that they see you, they know who you are and what you have to offer, that they're willing to help you to feel motivated to pursue your dreams and your goals. You've been on a little hiatus for a little while. Well, now you're stepping it up, and you're ready to do that. So I feel like that's really, really good. Highest Phoenix potential. What can rise from the ashes? What is your soul calling you toward? This is your breakthrough energy. Wow. Okay, so here we have the Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups typically is a release. It's a letting go. It's a walking away. Not in this depiction, but usually it's referred to as like an eclipse, like there's an eclipse energy. And eclipse is all about a great reset. I also love the swan being depicted here because the swan indicates that star seed energy, or the energy of I might beat to the tune of my own drum. I might do things a little bit differently. So when we talk about your highest Phoenix potential, I'm really feeling like a lot of what has been holding you back is now where you felt stuck to it, attached to it. You're no longer feeling that level of attachment. You're now choosing non-attachment. You're walking away from the old ways that you've done things. And you're in seek of a new path. You're in seek of a new approach. You don't necessarily have the approach yet in January, but you're opening yourself to it. You're creating the path within your life. You're clearing a path in your life to be able to move into a different path, to open yourself to something new. The swan energy is really interesting. I keep seeing a particular individual in your life, Pisces, that is going to come through with some really valuable information or insight or wisdom. And it's almost like, I feel like, the surprise earth angel, the angel in disguise, showing up and just saying the right thing at the right time, and everything just sort of falls into place, or it breaks open, right? It breaks open and you go, that is what I needed to know, or what I needed to hear, because now I can move on. Now I know very clearly what my personal next step needs to be. And this opens up all the motivation. Here you're trying to reconnect to your why and reconnect to the motivation. This Eight of Cups is indicating that you're going to now get that information. You're going to know the why, and therefore you're ready to leave behind what is not helping you in any way, shape, or form to get where it is that you're trying to go. So that's really cool. What's emerging just around the corner? What energy or experience is coming in to support the next phase? Interesting. Wow. So, not Aries, Aquarius. Got a Queen of Pentacles as well. That was a big part of their reading. So if you're so inclined, if it resonates with you, or if you've got some interesting Aries placements, you might want to check out, or sorry, not Aries, Aquarius placements, you might want to check out the Aquarius reading. So when we're talking about what's emerging, this is you being in that space where you get to kind of sit back and take in everything that you've created, everything that you've worked hard to grow. In this particular depiction, it's not like any other Queen of Pentacles card that I have seen, other than the fact that she's sitting on the throne. What I love about this is the abundance shows up in her thoughts, her inspiration, what is surrounding her head, her crown chakra, her third eye energy. She's holding this star. She's holding the star in her hands. It's a pendulum. She's working with the star, and I have to point out, you've got the star here. So I feel like what's emerging is you working with your vision. This is what you're seeking out. You're working with your vision. You're using your vision to say, okay, yes, is this choice that I am about to make in alignment with my truth, my health, my happiness, my wisdom, and my love? If I can't say yes, get a yes, no with the pendulum. If I can't say yes to all of those questions, then this isn't the right path, and that I can make a different choice. I feel like this Queen of Pentacles has a lot of confidence in what it is that she has to offer. And she's also a teacher. She's the person that says, yes, come on into my space. You need this and this and this. I'm happy to give it to you. And I'm also going to teach you how you can do this for yourself so that you don't always have to rely on me or rely on others to get the things that you need. And, 9 out of 10 times, the person is going to say, okay, thank you. And then off they go. And they'll be back next month for something. And she's happy to do that. But she's also not afraid to pass on the wisdom. And so I feel like you're really going to be working with the energy of this new vision. You're going to be working hard on figuring out the yes, no. And in the process of that, I feel like you're teaching yourself how to receive. You're also teaching yourself how to work with the fiery energy without burning yourself out or without burning out that. Well, I guess it's the same. Sorry. I guess it's the same thing. You don't want to use your water to snuff out the flame. You also don't want to not use your water and let the flame grow so big that you burn yourself out, right? So I feel like there's a lesson here in terms of you finding a new balance, a new normal, an understanding of what's going to work best for you as you're working with these energies to get you to your next vision. Gosh, that's super powerful. Your role in this shift, you in this process, how are you navigating this transformation? Are you resisting, flowing, grieving, or boldly rising? There's some grief involved in what you're doing here. I feel like there's a part of you that almost is going to miss some of this, even though you recognize that it's not for you any longer. I do feel this sense of longing for maybe the ease of it, or longing for the, sometimes we take comfort in the things that are not good for us simply because it's all we know. And so I feel that there is some grief that is transpiring here. Feel what you feel the grief of and the loss of what you're letting go, but also counter that with focus on where you're going and growing as well. We don't want to wallow here in the grief. We want to feel it and then turn it into something that we can use. So I feel like not to minimize your grief, not to minimize the loss that you're feeling, but I will say that the grief isn't serving you to move forward. It's serving to keep you stuck in all of this. But this is the very thing that you're trying to move forward into. When it feels right, do it. Grief is going to feel right to a certain extent, but you could also fall back into an old habit or pattern of getting stuck in that, wallowing in that. And it's going to deflate or lower your motivation that you're working to build up. So there is going to be a bit of a balancing act. 4 is also foundational. When we look at the 4 of Pentacles, it's a foundational energy. What is it that you're manifesting, right? What is it that you're working towards? Stand in the center of your crystals, stand in the center of your energy, and focus it in the direction that you want it to. If you focus it to the past, you're going to get more of that. If you focus your energy and your feelings to the future, the grief is going to be added to the fuel. You're going to be able to transmute the grief and use it to get you to where you're at. That's usually not what the 4 of Pentacles is about, but that's kind of the messaging that I'm getting around that card and how you're playing a role in that for yourself. Circles of support. Who or what is influencing your transformation right now? And is it a positive or a negative influence? Interesting. The Hermit. Wow. I think the Hermit also came up in the Aquarius reading. So that might be something of interest for you guys. Okay. So it's the people who really know themselves well. The people that you would say, oh yeah, that's someone who's wise. That's someone who's been around the block. That's someone who has a lot of self-awareness. Those are the people that you're going to want to be seeking out for assistance, especially around this grief issue, because the tendency for you is going to be to go with what you know, go with the comfort of what you know. What's that saying? The devil you know versus the devil you don't. It's still the devil, not an ideal direction, right? But some people will choose that over, making the change and going into something that they can't predict, something that is completely unknown. I feel like circles of support here, it's going to be about you reaching out to those that have made it to where you're going or who are also on the same journey that you can learn from. There's a real energy here of, again, okay, it's not like you're being told to let go of, the people in your life that have been with you, but I do feel that there is definitely a shift out of leaning on what you predictably have been able to lean on, and you're looking for fresh perspective. You're looking for someone who understands the path, all the pitfalls of the path, as well as the good stuff, and someone that you can really learn from about this specific direction that you're taking. So, circles of support, yes, you've got your regulars, but I don't feel that they're the ones necessarily that are going to be as helpful to you as seeking out mentorship, seeking out people who've been where you're at, who've done what you've done. That's where you're going to be stretching yourself. She's reaching up with the pentacle or for the pentacle, right? It's like a star in the sky, and she's reaching this one because it's what she can take, but she's had to reach. She's had to use her goat, and she's high up on the goat's neck, and she's kneeling on the goat's neck because she needs the leverage, right? You're reaching for this. This is something you got to be intentional about. You got to choose it, right? It's not going to choose you. It's going to present itself. It makes itself available, but it's not necessarily going to choose you. You're the one who makes the choice. Interesting. Hopes and fears. Who are you dreaming of becoming, and what scares you about actually doing it? Wow. So you really want to know yourself better. You want to understand how to care for yourself so that you don't always fall back into these patterns. I feel like there's a lot of pattern breaking that is coming up for you, Pisces, in this particular reading. Recognizing, the hamster wheel, recognizing the pattern that you keep getting stuck in, either with people that you love or a work situation, boundaries, that kind of thing. And you've always kind of taken the path, or many of you have kind of taken the path of, I do what I can, and then finally I walk away. I turn around and I walk away. Whether I've dealt with it or not, I just choose a different path. And, sometimes that's warranted. Sometimes that's the lesson. But that's not what the lesson is here. The lesson is about standing up, understanding who you are, making that choice, and saying, okay, now based on that, this is what I need. Three of Swords is the card of betrayal. And I feel like when we're talking about fears, you really are fearful of making this move, going into the unknown, really leaving all of that past behind, going with what feels right, and then being betrayed on the other side of it, being duped on the other side of it. I want to say to you, I don't feel that that's what's going to happen here. I feel like this is an invitation to understand yourself in a way that you have not been able to face or look at or really absorb or integrate until now. But now is the time to be able to do that. So any betrayal, I feel, will kind of come from you if you are not kind of putting yourself first in this particular situation and doing the things that your body, your mind, your heart, your soul is needing you to do. That feels really big. So turn the fear into faith, turn the fear into a hope. That's where the magic is going to happen. Oops. Okay. So now we are at the outcome of your transformation. If you stay on course, who will you be on the other side of January? What is the result of embracing the full cycle of death and rebirth? Love it. Feeling connected. You felt some disconnection. Maybe you've chosen the disconnection. Maybe it's chosen you, but regardless, now you're moving into a space where you're understanding yourself and you're feeling more connected to yourself and source, but you're also, as a result of that, able to make truer connections, deeper connections. Like I said, mentorships, people who have been walking the path that you're walking, and people who can really inform you about the next steps that you're considering taking. This Two of Cups, I feel like it's all about the connection. And when we talk about this in terms of that Phoenix energy, the Phoenix cycle energy, by the end of January, because you're feeling that connection beginning, that's going to be huge motivation for you to be able to continue to seek out the star. Because not everything is going to be sunshine and daisies, wine and roses. Not everything is going to be clear cut and super easy. There are going to be bumps in the road. There are going to be times when you have a tendency to 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, to fall back into old patterning. But I feel like with this level of energetic connection, when it feels right, do it, because of that level of connection or reconnection. It's not going to feel good. It's not going to feel as good. And you might get involved in it for a little bit and then you go, this isn't right. This isn't giving me what I want. So then you right yourself, right? You get back on track, you realign yourself to where you're going. And don't beat yourself up if you do fall back a little bit from time to time. It might happen a couple of times. Trust that it's going to feel different. It's not going to have the same resonance. And that's when you know, okay, I really can close this door because it's not feeding me. It's not nurturing me in those ways. It's not a self-care thing. It's taking me out of self-care. It's taking me out of me being my own priority. I've already established this. This is what I want to focus on because this is the true foundation. It's all about connection. Oh my goodness, Pisces. So that is your transformational tarot for January of 2026. As always, if you need any support or help or guidance around what you are going through, click on the link below to book a session with me. It's also still your year in preview season, as well as your year in transformation. If you're looking for a little bit of predictive guidance and insight into what's coming up for you each month of 2026, I highly recommend you book a year in preview session. I still have a few spots available for that. It's my most popular service. People love it. We pull a card for every month and I go in depth into what you're going to be experiencing so that you have that sneak peek and can be able to plan or understand when it happens throughout the year. And then your year in transformation is for those who like to do that deeper dive. You want to understand your soul and how your soul is transforming in 2026, what your soul blueprint is connecting you to in that time. There's a channeling, there's an in-depth card pull, there's reflection questions, you get a transformational support guide, you get a personalized affirmation, you get a meditation. I mean, it's just everything all at once. So if you want to do that deep dive, I recommend the year in transformation session service. Until we see you guys again for another episode of Black Feather Couture, Divining a VIP Life, sending you guys lots of love and support. We'll see you on the flip side and transform well.